What is going on, guys? This right here is my very first ever brand new dirt bike. This is a 2025 KTM 300 XCW, and in today's video, I'll be adding some performance parts, some protection parts, my own personal flair, and then I'll be going to ride this thing for the first time. This was made possible by Redline Sports in Butte, Montana, and I am so incredibly excited and grateful. Let me show you guys what it was like to pick up my first ever brand new bike. Come on. How's it going?
Good, how are you? Welcome to Redline.
Thanks a lot. Kincaid, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. We'll go ahead and take care of your paperwork back here and get rolling.
Perfect, let's do it. Now while I'm over there with Mike getting my paperwork done for my brand new KTM, let's talk a little bit about Redline Sports here in Butte, Montana. Redline offers KTM, Honda, and Polaris for every season. So you've got your dirt bikes with KTM and Honda. They've got quads, side-by-sides. You can pick up your Polaris snowmobile here for the winter. They've got timber sled kits, all sorts of different gear and accessories for whatever you may need. If you're in need of maintenance on your machines, they have a robust service department. They can do full engine rebuilds, anything you might need to get you back out on the trails. So a massive thank you to Redline Sports for making it possible to pick up my first ever brand new dirt bike. Now let's get this thing back in the garage and start adding some protection parts so we can get it out on the trails. So diving right into it, there are a few parts that need to go on this bike that I deem essential, and then a few parts you'll see me put on the bike that are nice to have, but not necessarily a must-have, and I'll talk about all of these openly and honestly during this video. The first essential for what I will be riding on this bike is a radiator fan. I did go with the TrailTech fan, which is the fan that KTM recommends and sells as a power part. I ran the Tusk fan on my KTM 200, and while the fan worked great, the controller did experience some issues, and I've had the TrailTech one on my KTM 350. That fan has probably ran for literally 50 plus hours with no complaints whatsoever. Now you just saw me remove the poorly designed new KTM radiator cap with this handy tool from Bulletproof Designs. I've been working with Bulletproof Designs on my last few projects, and I reached out to them seeing if they would want to provide those parts that I deem essential to showcase in this video, as they make some of the very best protection parts on the market in my opinion. They ended up sending me a box of just about every part they make for this bike, so massive thank you to Bulletproof Designs for the support. I know buying a new bike and then having to spend more money on parts to dial it in is always a tough decision as the average consumer, so that is why I'll talk about which parts I would buy right away and which I might upgrade after damaging the OEM ones. These radiator guards are 100% a right-away purchase. As soon as you bend a radiator, you're dealing with trouble lining up plastics for the remainder of that radiator's life, and bending a radiator so bad it leaks out in the mountains is never a fun experience. I always install radiator braces on bikes as soon as possible, and these ones are, well, bulletproof. I got those installed with ease as they just bolt right on in place of the stock louvers, and then I moved on to replace the throttle body cover. This is one of those that a couple years ago I might have said, do you really need that? But as I have transitioned into more hard enduro and seen all of the awful ways my dirt bike has hit the ground, this is one that's a nice peace of mind if you're into the nasty technical stuff. The only downside of protection parts on dirt bikes is added weight, so I opted to remove the tail light assembly as it's something I have no need for on a dirt bike and might as well dump a few ounces before adding a few more. Onto another essential is the rear disc guard. Of course, your type of riding matters here. If this was a moto bike, probably not necessary. For mountain riding and hard enduro, it is amazing how quickly this part will pick up scratches that you look at and think, that would have been my brake rotor. There are tons of variations of these, some just bolt onto the OEM caliper mount, but this Bulletproof Designs one is beefy and replaces the entire caliper mount. It also has a spot to mount a caliper guard as well. While I consider the disc guard essential, the caliper guard is a bonus and added peace of mind. Now while we are back here on the swing arm, I've got some swing arm guards by cross-linked components. I'll be honest, I have never been a fan of swing arm guards until now, because I don't think anyone has done them well until now. Most other designs rely purely on zip ties and are not that beefy. I have seen them lying on trails from ripping off, swing arm damage underneath guards, etc. But Crosslinked had the genius idea to utilize the axle adjuster for a legitimate mounting point. These are dense plastic and will do their job. Fun story, I actually reached out to Crosslinked, and it turns out the father of the founder was part of the riding trip I did in Vietnam a couple years ago. So small world, and shout out to Paul and Devin. Now you just saw me install a swing arm tab guard from Bulletproof, which is super important for hard enduro, less important for other disciplines, but prevents those swing arm tabs from ripping off or bending in the event of heavy contact. The left side cross-linked guard required some slight modification to clear that tab guard, which was quick and easy with the rotary tool. The cross-linked guards also come with plenty of massive, beefy zip ties, so you can reinstall should they ever need to come off for any reason. Next is a bonus part that I probably wouldn't be replacing unless I damaged the OEM one, but we've got a new shifter from Bulletproof. It's got heavy-duty steel splines that make it more difficult to strip than the OEM shifter. And I'm starting to get a little smarter as a hard enduro rider, and I found a nice, clean space for that OEM shifter and the airbox as a backup. Now with the cooling system already drained from installing that radiator fan, I flushed the system with some Evans prep fluid in preparation for Evans coolant. I started running Evans last summer when I started riding more hard enduro, as I've ran AutoZone 50/50 forever, but good coolant really does go a long way when you start getting the bike really hot in those nasty conditions. I ran the bike for a couple minutes with the prep fluid, allowing it to fully circulate through the system, and then refilled the radiators with Evans. Next up is a really smart product by Bulletproof, and that is an exhaust flange guard. I can't really speak to the necessity of this yet, as most of my riding the last few years has been on a 4-stroke, so I haven't done that much pipe bashing. That said, I see all of my friends' 2-stroke hard enduro bikes, and boy are they hard on pipes. The right hit might cause the cylinder to fail before the pipe, and this part simply bolts onto the flange of the cylinder, providing much more strength and security in that area. Now in recent years, I actually started carrying a spare rear brake tip with me because I have broken or bent countless of them on rocks and stumps. It doesn't take much to damage one of the OEM KTM brake tips. This rear brake pedal along with the clutch cover are both items that Bulletproof offers more beefy upgrades to. It has been a minute since I've put a hole in a clutch cover, but I've done it a couple times, so I'd be seriously considering this Bulletproof one if I needed a replacement. The awesome thing about Bulletproof products that I almost forgot to mention is they all come with a lifetime warranty. If you bend, break, or crack one of these products, they will replace it for life. I installed their rear brake lever as well, and I'm excited to see how this tip holds up to the abuse. Now, I am a big fan of running bar ends. It is not as necessary on the left side since that is just a grip, but if I'm not running full wrap handguards, I think it is essential on the throttle side. If I dump the bike on the right side and it hits the bars, instead of worrying about breaking or destroying a throttle tube, it is almost impossible to ruin the throttle with this setup, and they take no time to install. These ODI bar ends are the highest quality ones I've found, with a sleek and easy design to tighten them into your bar. I run a small amount of motor oil on my handlebar, which makes the throttle twist smoothly, but note with bar ends, this is exposed to dirt and I clean and re-oil it every so often. I installed a Bulletproof throttle assembly as well, which is stronger than OEM and looks really nice. Next up, I installed a right fork lug guard, which is sleek and simple and protects your fork from damage. For how much forks cost and how easy it is to mangle these in the nasty stuff, this is solid peace of mind. On the left side, the Bulletproof brake rotor guard has a fork lug guard integrated into it. If I had a budget to pick one rotor guard or the other, I would choose the rear, as it is more likely to contact unwanted obstacles, but my front rotor has been saved by these guards countless times as well. Next, I installed these fork guards from cross-linked components, and they are actually sweet. They are durable plastic and just pop right onto the forks, no tools required, and they keep your forks protected from the consequences of hard enduro. Crosslinked offers one more part that is something I never would have thought of or realized I needed, but as soon as I saw it, I was like, wow, this makes so much sense. This is a cover for your oil fill port for oil-injected bikes. If you have had an oil-injected KTM, you know it's tough to keep this clean. Any spillage collects dust and dirt, and then you're always worried about getting dirt into the system when removing the cap. This simply goes over that oil port and uses magnets to secure to the frame. Really sleek little product. And now, the bike is getting close. I have to scratch up these brand new rims just a little before the rocks do, as I need to swap out these tubes for some Mr. Wolf mousse balls to completely remove the possibility of a flat and give me better traction. I popped the rear tire off using my Rabiconda, which makes my tire changes generally go smoothly, and with that tire off, I opted to swap out the stock Dunlop for a Shinko 525 Cheater. This 525 Cheater is a soft compound that does phenomenally well in the rocks, and is going to be very well appreciated for what I've got planned for the first ride on this dirt bike. I lubed up my balls and shoved them in the fresh rubber. I'm sorry, I just can't install a set of mousse balls without making that joke. Like I said, my tire change went swimmingly well. In all seriousness, as time has gone on and I've gotten better with the Rabiconda, I actually prefer changing tires with mousses rather than tires with tubes. It is nice to not have to deal with a valve stem or popping a tube, and once you figure out the technique, it does generally go well, despite a few swear words. I tend to utilize 5 irons, and the hooks on the Rabiconda are super useful as well. You will notice here I'm slipping a couple irons back into the opposite side of the tire than where I'm still installing it, and that sucks the tire down into the drop center of the rim to prevent ripping the bead and make those last few bites easier. And then of course the arm on the Rabiconda makes that final bit of the tire at the rim lock super easy to install. I added an anodized rim lock nut from Tusk as I thought a little orange accent with all this black would look nice, and then I plugged the valve stem hole also with a rim plug from Tusk. A couple Mousse Balls rim stickers finished up the rear wheel, and I installed it back onto the bike and torqued to spec. If you don't know this trick, put a rag in the sprocket and roll the wheel backwards to push the wheel into the chain adjusters when tightening. The front wheel received the exact same treatment with a set of Mousse Balls and a Shinko 546 front tire. While I am getting these installed, I'll let you guys know all of these great companies will be linked below, and many of these parts can be found on RockyMountainATVMC.com. If you buy parts through Rocky Mountain, I earn a commission, which helps support the channel, and there is also a link to a page on my website where the parts from this build are laid out in a little more detail. While you're on my website, you can also get entered to win my KTM 200 and a riding trip to Montana to come rip some single track with me, and entries for that are open until September 30th. And now for the moment I have been oh so excited for. Shout out to my man Nick over at Decal Works for designing this awesome custom kit. Fresh set of graphics for this puppy. I'm gonna get these installed, adding my own personal touch to this bike, and then tomorrow is my break-in ride on this KTM 300. And for that break-in ride, I'm going to be attempting the hardest legal trail in Montana. If I'm gonna break it in, might as well break it in right. So be sure to subscribe to the channel if you want to see me tackle that trail and get some scratches on this bike for the first time. But it's time to get a fresh set of graphics installed. Let's do it. Oh my God. Still in a little bit of a state of disbelief that this thing is actually mine. First ever brand new dirt bike. This 2025 300 XCW is ready to rip. Once again, Nick at Decal Works killed it on this kit. So cool to tie this whole bike together. Another massive thank you to Redline Sports for making this possible. If you find yourself in the Butte, Montana area, go check out that dealership, show them some love. It is an awesome place with great people. There are a couple small things left to be done to this bike, but those will be in a future video. This is ready to ride state for ride number 1. So I'm heading out to the crazy mountains tomorrow to go tackle the gnarliest trail I've ever tried. The only time I've ever been up there was about 6 years ago. I didn't even make it close to the top. I had no idea what I was getting myself into, and we're gonna go try and get this thing to to a beautiful alpine lake in the Crazies tomorrow. Whether it goes well or doesn't, you're not going to want to miss that one. So once again, click that subscribe button. Thank you all for the continued support. Go enter to win my KTM 200. There's about 150 people entered right now, so your odds are pretty good. That's going to do it for this one, and I will leave you with the sweet, sweet sound of two-stroke.